Hi, my name is Kian, and I'm here today to explain task 1.1 in SIT232. And so this is the first coding, the first part of the task, which is making if statement. Basically, this is basically just asking the user to enter an integer, and it will just output the integer with the letter of the integer. So of course the limit it's between 1 and 9. So basically this code just shows that we just ask the user to prompt the user to enter integer value, and then we just convert it to convert int here to convert the input string into an integer data type. But so this method, because this is the code they gave, but from what I found is this method is kind of not that good. So what we did was I put a try catch into this to handle the exception. So if we run the code right here, so you can like let's say 1, right? It will show 1. But what happens if a user enters a number like this? It's still a number, right? But what if they enter something like this and then right, an error has occurred? So if we didn't have try catch, this is just to show to catch an exception like this to limit, because convert int 32 has a limit as a number like that. That's why I put try catch. So that's why. And I put an error there just in case to catch an exception. So yeah. So this program will you just input 1 9, right? Program will print out a number, name, and I just use if else statements to evaluate the input using this operator right here, which checks if the input is equal to a specific value. So if I type in 1, um, 1 will pop up like this. If I type 1, this will pop up. This is kind of to help me there. And just just try catch and then just a read key right here to kind of wait to click, to wait for a key, any key to be pressed to end the program. So this is if statement. So this is the next one is microwave. So basically what microwave is, um, basically they ask us to check. So basically this program is like, for me, how I wrote it is I still put try catch, right? To catch exception, just because we're using int to convert to int 32. So this program will check if the input value is less than 1 or greater than 3. And if the value is less than 1, the program will print a message that at least 1 item is required. And if the input value is greater than 3, the program will print a message that is heating more than 3 times not recommended. So there's the prompt is basically if it's more, I think more than 3, it'll double the heating. So we have to make a prompt with that. So we'll just run a few. So example, like how many items you want to heat? If it's 1, this, and then we put seconds, let's do like 8 seconds, right? Times 8 seconds. But if we do more than 1, so like more than 3, I think more than 5, so do 10. Oops, sorry. 5. Let's put to heating 3 more items is not recommended, right? So let's put 3. You put 1, 3, sorry, my bad. So put 3. How many items you want? Let's put 5, right? That's 10, so it doubles the heating time if it's 3. So below than 3 doesn't it only 50% increase. So basically how I wrote the code is if the input value is between 1 and 3, the program will probably use to enter the heating time for the items using the console write line right here. And the console read line right here. And then like converts it into convert int, right? As we said before. And So if the input value is less than 1, here we go. The program will print a message that the heating should at least be 1 second, right? Because that's the prompt. We're just following the prompt. If the value is less than or equal to 1, the program calculates the final heating time using a bunch of rules. Like if it's only one item, the heating time is the same time as input duration. If there's 2 items, right? Right here, there's 2 items. The final heating time is the output duration plus half the output duration right here. And if there are 3 items, the final heating time is double, right? There's a mistake on it. Double the input duration. So so the program would just print the final heating time to the console using the console write line method for heating time part result. So these are all the results that we get, right? Depending on what we put as the input, then and as seconds. Yeah. So the next one is I think the next one it should be this one, do casting. So do casting is basically a program that like asks for 2 variables, sum and count, with the values of 17 and 5 right here. And it basically is just calculates the average of these 2 numbers by using integer division and kind of like and assigns the result in int average, right? So the result of average right here. Basically this code, so basically it's just showing us like this. The point of this code from how I see it is it's just teaching us that how int works. Because for int, it's just teaching us that how double really works in this situation. Because I can see int for int, it's sum, and for int it's count. It's already there. That's what we have to put. But we want a more accurate number. So how we're gonna do that? We use double. So like the reason we use double is basically to use it as like a floating point division instead of integer division, right? The floating point division is more accurate. So when we divide 2 numbers, so we have like dualities int, right? It will just result in like a normal integer, and it doesn't have the accurate representation. So when we want decimal, we use double, right? By casting it to double, like it preserves the decimal portion of it. So that's how it is. It's literally just teaching us that you know, when we put double like this, it doesn't matter if it's int. It would just the VS Code would just read it, or computer read it into double, and it gives us more accurate direction. Because if we leave this int, that's the problem I found. If we run this int, it would just still even I think I put double here and stuff. I didn't put double. Even if I put double this, it still will run as int. So we need to put two double like this. That's how I see it. And we got switch statement. Basically, iteration of the if statement. And the difference between this is we use it's basically the same thing, try catch, to catch an exception, just so we won't break the loop. And I think but for how I see it is how I see the task teaching us is why should we use switch statement in this scenario instead of it, right? Because in this scenario, it gives the same thing. Let's run the code, right? It like we can put a number, it still gives us the same thing, right? Why should we use switch statement? And I believe because it's switch statement is more appropriate in this one because the most utmost importance is running the scenario first, then calculate later. So I thought that's how switch statement is because so like we want to run the value first, right? And then so it run to a specific integer value first, and the program will immediately jump to a corresponding case block on the output input value. And so it's just more safe. And I think in this scenario it's better. I think that's how they want to teach us. Uh, Yeah. So yeah, the execution would just jump immediately, instead of just waiting, like the if statement. And that's all my tasks. Yeah.